right. You're tired.
No, I'm
Oh,
fine. Go ahead, you start.
although he slept a lot more on the plane than I did. Our trip coming home was well, we left Hoodsport, if I'm saying it right. That was a short trip, and then to come back to Johannesburg, and then it's 17 hours over, and then another 3.5 down to Orlando. So a lot of travel the last day or so. But it was worth it. It was definitely worth it. I don't know if you've seen some of the pictures. I know some of you have on Facebook, and we just have so many of them. But it was just amazing. Just being able the last few days at the game reserve were spectacular. Being so close to all the animals, the things that we saw, and it's pretty cool because we had 18 different jeeps go out, and everybody saw different things. There were what is it, 45,000 to maybe 50,000 acres that they have there. So you just drive around and you're up close, sometimes almost a little scary. One of the Jeeps, we didn't, one of the Jeeps had a rhino chase it. So that was interesting. Our driver, I felt, was really good, made us comfortable. There were a few times where I think we got a little bit nervous, but he had it under control the whole time. What's interesting is they don't, no guns or anything out there, so your lions running right next to you and they don't use any guns. Um, they know how to respect it. We had an elephant charge the Jeep at one point, and the driver just kind of nodded at the elephant, and then the elephant was kind of like, okay. And it was pretty weird watching it, but it's just they have it under control. So it's exciting being that close and seeing all kind of things that go on there. We had two things that he had not seen. Well, one was a pangolin, if I'm saying it right, was this animal. He's only seen, this was the second time in all his years. He grew up in the bush where we were, that he's seen that. So he was very excited about that. And then another time, there was a hyena that was being kind of chased by a leopard. So they were kind of coming around watching that. And, he was like so thrilled. So he has a YouTube channel. I guess when we get a chance, we'll put more of this stuff out there so you can see. But very interesting and lots of great information. Not that we could really use it, but they have traditional medicine. So they have some great stories on all these different plants that you can use for alternative medicine and stuff. And it was really cool. He grew up with his mom, his grandma, who had, did a lot of this. They lived in the bush. So this is how that was their alternative medicine. So super, super exciting there. So yeah, just so much to say, but it was huge. And the reserve was just amazing. Everything was amazing. So it was just a great trip. So, but the cool thing is the next one is, they said, would be even better. Not giving us any details yet, but they
There,
said that
there is a next one. Yeah.
yeah, they're already dangling it. So I don't know when they're going to tell us more of the details or what it entail and stuff. But
And it will be an executive trip. So it will be for
yeah,
people that make executive,
yeah,
and if you are executive, advance, in order to get there. But I I don't know how they top what they just
yeah.
did. Some of it, honestly, I didn't give a lot of thought to what it might have cost them to do it. How many millions of dollars were involved with
Yeah.
it. But when we were in Cape Town and we were leaving the hotel, Mount Nelson, where we were, we found out that it was $1,200 a night, per person per night. And it was like, I'm like, okay, they spent some money on this, I mean, it's really cool seeing what you see, but having someone else pay for you to do it is a different level of it, and then you never knew who in advance. You don't know who you were going to be like assigned to in your Jeep, but you were with the same five people every day and the same two tour guides every day. And we knew who Brett and Holly
Room hall.
Brim Hall, we knew who they were, and Brett does a lot of talking for the doctor stuff, with the company, but we didn't know them. They were just somebody that we had met and maybe occasionally, said hi to. And then Kerry Dickey is someone we think the world of that we're very close with, and they ended up the three in the Jeep with us. And to tell you, 5 straight days of laughing your brains off is an understatement with the group that was put together. But we did have an opportunity to spend some time with kind of unexpected as we were at the airport to getting ready to come home. Steve Fife sat down. April and I were kind of tucked away in a corner. We had a few hours to wait, and he sat down and we were talking about a few different things. And his thoughts about um we were picking his brain a little bit about business, of course, and then they were teasing us about what the next executive trip will be. And people were so the people in South Africa that made the trip were so speechless after experiencing what we experienced. And I know some of you may live out in the woods. I call it like big sky or Montana skies, but I'd never seen that before, and to see the South African sky the way we did from the bush. And then to find out when we were at the closing, whatever you want to call it, ceremony, African dance, whatever we were doing the last night, the name was, to find out that there were 45 tour guides surrounding it because they were barbecuing food and stuff, and we're in the bush, and the lions were circling on the outside. They were just circling, and we didn't know that why it was happening, but the final tour that we went out on, our guide told us about it. And I think, okay, we're better off probably not knowing that as it was happening. That really wouldn't have been something that we were thrilled with, but to hear it the next day. And the reason I'm sharing that with you is there's still the end of February and March to make the Alaska cruise, which is going to be spectacular. And some of the people that we met, not met, we met, just that we had knew of just about everybody that was on there, but some of the people that made it in a very short window. And it was that window with GLP-1, where things were going, haywire for that short period of time. And it was amazing how many people got themselves on, and it was amazing how many people had already quit trying before that even happened, as far as getting on, and how many people hit that executive rank. It was EC1 is what got you on. To hit it and hold it. Okay, that was what got you on. And then if you already were, then you had to go up to the next level. But they were teasing. I don't know what they could do better. I don't know how much farther away from home they could take us than South Africa. That was a lot of hours, but I'm telling you, when the company does these trips, and one of the things, Kristen, we ended up spending a lot of time with Kristen Cunningham too. Um, she likes to get feedback, and they're thinking about 2 trips a year. That's what's on their mind now every year. And one trip that anybody can make. Okay. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean it's just open for everybody from the day the person joins, to the day the trip ends. Is open to. And then of course the executive trip, which is open to anybody that reaches executive. Okay. So 2 trips. And it was interesting because she was kind of going back and forth with, well, what if we just did 2 trips that everybody would make, and versus one that's eligible, everybody's eligible, and then one that's for, let's just say, leadership, executive and leadership. And it was really interesting how she really wanted feedback and pluses and minuses on it. and I'll tell you, we had the good fortune of taking 22 cruises with our first company. And the one thing that some of you folks have not had the opportunity to experience yet is the mentoring and the openness that people share when on a trip. Okay. And like the cruise with Alaska coming up, there's going to be a lot of time for people to share with each other. And the way this company is, because of the revenue sharing bonus and the way the different teams work together, that's priceless stuff. Not only do you want to be there, but you want teammates, to be there, because I've never been around a more open group in my life that were eager to share how and whatever it was they were doing with each other. And we didn't have that in our old company. It never worked that way in that business. But when you are on these trips, yeah, it's great. The company paid for it and all of that. That's all good. But the time that you get with the people that are really doing it, okay, and not one dimensional doing it. I mean, really doing it, and it seems like it's always the same group of people, plus they're adding teammates to it. Okay, so you can count on seeing certain people, but they're always adding teammates to it. And that's the value in the trips. It's what you learn from each other, what you get to go home with. And that's so much more important than some of these masterminds, some of these generic trainings, because this is your company. You're talking to people about your products. You're talking to people about your compensation plan. You're talking to people about, they're doing it in your business. And that was so valuable. So, I know we're winding down Alaska. I know there's 3 or 4 of you that still have a really good shot at making it between this month and next month. And don't give up. Go right to March 31st. There were at least half a dozen people with South Africa that made it the last day. That the last day. They went right down to the last day and they made it on the last day. So what they decide next, I don't know how you beat, a safari in South Africa with the kind of money that they spent on that and treatment that we got, but um you should be there. Everybody should be there. And when the requirement is to be executive, okay, that is a attainable goal in order to be there. So, April,
Yeah. Okay. So just some business notes too. Bobby mentioned the MB core and enhance again can be
actually, I
bought.
have the April. Let me just pull up the slides because most of
Okay.
it, what we talked about last time, we could recap for a minute. Let me
Okay.
just pull them up, okay?
And also, probably not on there is I put the new income statement up in our training group. So, if for some reason you need, I think that one looks a lot better. So if you need to pull from that one, certainly do that.
Is it the file you put in there? If they can take the file, okay.
Yeah.
Folks, one thing I do want to share with you, and I'm not sure if I mentioned this last time we were on, but um, my Facebook account got shut down, and without reason, they refused to give a reason on why they did it. So I don't know, what I did that caused it to get shut down, because even on appeal, they wouldn't give a reason for it. So if you get a friend request from someone that looks like me that's named Billy Smith, that's me. Okay. And unfortunately, I haven't been able to post anywhere. I couldn't get on, and I was able to set up another account while we were in South Africa, and I did. So if you get a friend request, number one, it's me, but posting in the groups and getting caught up in the groups, that had always been like my responsibility. And I'll be able to get caught up on that again. So don't think it's a spam friend request or somebody hacked my account. That actually is me. I got shut down. I don't, they refused to say why. So I just made up an alias account, and that is me. So
Well, Cheryl said it happened to her too, so it's going around, I guess. Oh well. All right.
All right. So the one thing that that I want to share is obviously February is a short month. It's the 23rd today. We only get 28 days. And it's not just three less days. You know, the 3 days at the end of the month are big volume days. You know, they always are. That's when people rank advance. That's when people hit, their tracks. That's when all of that stuff happens. So it really, the one thing that we can do as a team and one thing that we can do as a group is our opportunity launch, product opportunity launch is Tuesday night. Okay. And, we have the opportunity of filling that up. Okay. With a record number of guests. And since it's not tomorrow night, but the night after, and we got 48 hours, honestly, I don't care if you haven't given it one thought until now. Okay, you have an opportunity now to, over the next 2 days, to get people invited on there. One thing I can tell you that April and I are going to start doing a little bit different. It's the biggest pitfall in this company. We've talked about it for a long time, and we actually had a chance to talk to Steve Fife about it, is that there's just not enough money discussed in this company. People don't cover the financial aspects the way they should. And, we're going to talk a little bit more about opportunity. We're not going away from the product when, it's not like instead of, it's going to be more balanced, and that's really, we have products and opportunity. Nowhere does it say we talk 90% about products and 10% opportunity. It doesn't say that. We have a product business opportunity, and we're going to try and start balancing it out a little bit and sharing more about money, because I can tell you, with doing different advertising and marketing and stuff that we do and play with out there in order to grow our business, the single biggest thing we hear, we do not need to spend a lot of time talking to people about our products, when the single biggest complaint we hear over and over again, even before some people agree to get on the phone or a Zoom with us: how much does it cost? I don't have any money. Can I wait to next Friday when I get paid? It's on and on and on. It's a lack of income. And it's for us to ignore that when that is our best product with Evolve, okay, is the opportunity for people to make good money fast. Steve Fife was at a DSA conference, April. It was a
Yep.
Direct Sales Association
Yep.
conference, and Lifevantage was the talk of the conference. And the people in front of the room that were speaking said the industry needs to, funny, evolve more like that company back there, pointing at Steve. Okay. And the way we had adapted to how people can earn money, and honestly, how fast people can earn money. And, we need to make that adjustment, because there's just not a lot of people out there that can spend two, three, $400 a month on our three best activators. Use our collagen, use our GLP-1, use our Protandem. You're at $400. But if they're earning $400, they can use that and more. So don't forget, our opportunity is one of our products. Our ability to earn income is a product. That is why in June, I guess it'll be, 2 years officially, but that's why we're a year and a half to 2 years in the Evolve compensation plan. And the industry's done one of two things. It's either dropped the multi-level marketing, network marketing, residual income part of their program, and a lot of these companies are just paying, frontline for customer sales, or they're adjusting their compensation plans to look more like what we did. Okay, that's the two things going on. So, you know, we need to do a better job with getting more guests on, okay, when we do these. And they're going to see and hear about the best products in the world and the best way to start making money right away. And it's our old company, we always talked money. I mean, we had the biggest doctor program that had ever been put together when it came to dealing with medical professionals. And we did not get into the science of the products. And like we do here at Lifevantage, we did not do that. The only thing we had with that company was our products were in the physician's desk reference. And we would tell the doctors that they could look it up. We show them a picture of the book and say the book was on their shelf in their office and they could look it up. And we showed them how to make more money without increasing their overhead or salaries, and it was always about money. And, we need to make sure that we don't forget that money and earning it is one of our products. That is a product that we have available here, at Lifevantage. And we spent a lot of time talking to Steve about, hey, customers are great and we get paid great on them. Look, if you're diamond, it's 30%, over and over and over and over again. But customers will not and have never built a business. If LifeVantage is going to grow to 400 million, 500 million, and a billion, it's going to be because, consultants are getting involved to use the products and earn money, that other product that we have, earning money. So, let's not ignore the fact that that is a product that we have. And so Tuesday night is our next one. It's at 8:30 Eastern, at the same time we always use, same link, okay, that we always use. I'll repost it again, this evening when this is over. But even, like I said, even if you haven't given it a thought until you're hearing it now, you got 48 hours. It's 20 after 8 now Eastern time. So let's do our best to fill that up. April, you got anything to add with that?
Yeah, just, when you're talking money to people, I always just ask them, what would they like to earn? It's always a good starting point. It's good for you. It's good information for you to know. And then as you get better at it, you'll be able to throw some numbers and let them know what they need to do in order to earn that as well. But that's always a starting point with me. I ask them what they would like to earn. They're looking at a business. So, what do you hope to earn from this business is a good starting point. So did you have slides on the GLP-1 separate?
Um, do you want to mention?
Oh, that's good. Okay, yeah, I was going to mention that too. So the discount codes, again, Monday, I think it's 11 Mountain Time, come out again. If you're on subscription, this is the last round for February where you get those 3 discount codes. And they come really in handy, especially people that are, trying to put some money together to be able to start their business. If, they're really tight or whatever, depending on where they start, they can save. That lowest package is 224. And I know you all know this, 239 for the GLP-1, but that's $23, $24 that they can save off the starting. So that brings that package down to closer to, 200, 210, 215. So depending on what package they choose. So that can be a big difference. It can also offset maybe the tax, that gets thrown on there at the last minute and stuff. And everybody likes a bargain. Everybody likes to feel. So as long as you share it with them as if they're getting something special, which they are, we only have 3 each week. So, and that week goes fast. So anyway, as long as you were on a subscription for February, and it's not too late because we got the 25th. So even if you went on for the 25th, you still get those 3 coupons for the 24th. And that's the last one there. So, yeah.
So is this
Oh,
what
you
you
have the,
posted?
okay, yep, okay.
So
That's
this
the
is
income
now
disclosure. Yeah, that's it.
we're in the team unit, the Facebook group.
Community. Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
that's there too
So
as
if
well.
if you haven't, downloaded that, you can go there and you'll have the file. You can print it out nice and neat or put it on a slide for your own presentations and have it available. But it's a nice, clean, I guess, PDF now that's in there.
Yep,
Okay.
yeah,
Was this what you're asking for?
yeah, yeah. So as long as this is available, this seems to be a big thing. some of the people are using more core now. They're, I guess we're going to play around with it and see how this goes or whatever. Some are using three, some are using four. Um, I think the big thing is, and we dealt with this in our first company too. Nothing is a magic pill. You can out eat anything. So it seems like some people believe that, they got this product so they would have a lot more leeway with their diet and could eat a whole lot more. So if somebody's really not getting the results, I'd look at what they're eating, on a daily basis, because it's working. And it's funny. Not everyone really wants to lose weight. Sometimes people want the easy fix, they believe. And again, there's nothing easy, about losing weight. But if somebody's watching the weight, the weight's coming off. So, if they're doing it right. So anyway, you can buy just the core if you want, or you can just buy the powder if that's what you're short on. It seems to be people have a lot more powder left over. And the company did that on purpose because they didn't want people to have a shortage of powder and more pills. But I think maybe it went the other way too much. So, that's that. So we don't know how long this is going to last. So, you need to get this out to your customers. It's also March 1st is when the consultants and customers that haven't ordered in 3 years, I think it is 36 months. Yeah. And it's not really a big deal if it's a customer, but if you have a consultant that's got some people under them, I would definitely have a conversation with them because those people will disappear. So, if they went out and got a few people, certainly you need to talk to them about that because I think it would be almost impossible to get that back at that point after 36 months. And the cool thing about this business is you just never know. I mean, you just never know. People are in this business for years and all of a sudden they wake up one day and build organizations. It's just another connection they make or something goes on and, exciting things can happen. So people shouldn't want to miss out on that too. You got another slide or there are some other things I don't think we mentioned. The Tiffany breakfast, just I'm going to throw it out there. There's a few ways you get that. If you have 25 tracks, become an EC1, or if you became an EC1 October through December and maintain that for January, what they're doing is they're giving $1,000 gift certificate and breakfast at Tiffany's. So pretty exciting there, but that's 25 tracks. There's a few of you might approach that, but probably not most. And then if you have 18 tracks, there's the driver's VIP lounge that's going on at Global, which is what Bobby has up now too. So
yeah, and the other thing we spend some time talking about is how people's vision is expanded. And if you look at the teams that are out there, it was funny, we forget, we have 32 years experience, but there were three of the ladies who are the leaders with building their business grabbed me in April when we were in South Africa, and they said, could we take a picture? And everybody was taking pictures. We didn't think anything of it. And they said, you and April taught our Pro 5 training, and we're all here together and we're here with you. And I'm like, wow. You do so much stuff with different teams and different people. And we did teach a Pro 5, a couple of years ago. And it was really interesting. It was like, can we get a picture? Because, now they've renamed the Pro 5 Summit. It's something different now, but it's the same equivalent of Pro 5. And the reason I bring that up is big meetings like Global and the Pro 5 summits and things like that. That is where people grow because that's where their vision changes. That's where they see a bigger picture. And that's where they learn to talk with clarity with new people. Their vision gets expanded. They learn how to share what they have better. Okay. And that's where development happens. And it was funny. It was Amber White. It was Sherry Martin. And who was the other one?
I forget isn't her name April? And I forget what her last name is though.
Yeah, and the other
Yeah.
April. Yeah, I
Yeah.
forget her last name, but they were the three couples,
Yeah.
and the one that we taught, there's 50 or 60 people in it, and you don't think much of it, but anyway, that it was a humbling thing. It was pretty cool. So
The
if you're
other
not
cool thing we heard it that was going around, and again, FAB and the science board hear things that we don't hear, but they alluded at a new product, and it sounded like it was going to be in the sports line for global. It's going to be a limited time only, so certainly want to be at global to be able to get that as well too. So if we
April
find out
just did
more,
a
hear more.
Bobby. She talked about something she wasn't supposed to talk about. You give April a
I
hand,
didn't say
folks.
anything that I
Give her
wasn't told. I don't have any exact details, but a rumor
a
going around, so I can share that. And nobody said I couldn't.
hand. It's funny. We were prying and prying, and it's a new product coming out of conventions. Not maybe, it is. Okay. And they did lean towards it's a sports product, and I
As we
guess
know,
the
this
topic
is,
had
yeah.
started with Axio, and then it had turned to we didn't have a protein anymore. And the conversation kind of just kept going, and then all of a sudden is, well, we have a new blah blah coming out, and so it's going to be something different and something that is probably very much missing in our product line that people are going to get very excited about, and not just be another skincare product or another flavor Axio or something it's going to be something that fills a void. Um, so yeah, way to go, April. That's awesome. So if you're not registered, please, don't miss it. It's the next one's, is not till 6 months later, in October. And 6 months is too long to go without getting the batteries recharged and without having your vision, expanded. It's just too great a time period. So, but what I was saying is, as we look around, um, and we look at the teams that are growing, and the important word is team. Okay, the teams that are growing, they always attend events and they work their butts off to make sure that their teammates attend events, or they get people there for the first time. And April and I used to say this all the time with our other business. You don't really have them in the business until they're in. And what we meant by that, we had 3-day schools in our other company, and they were all always in Dallas. And we said, they're not in until they've attended an event in Dallas. And that was where if you got them or not. Okay. And these weren't every 6 months. These were or every other month, and in some cases even every month. So, you know, you're never going to know what you have with a new consultant in your business until you've gotten them to a bigger event and they've had a chance to see what we see, like we did in Kansas City, because most of you were there. And, you just don't know until you get them to see it. And as leaders, as you all are, our responsibility is to do what we need to do to get them there. And then if you get them there and the event goes on and they don't get it, you did your job. That's on them after that. Okay. You did what you had to do to get them there. And maybe this business just isn't for them, or maybe they just don't have a desire to work. Who knows what it is? But up until that point, it's kind of on us because they don't know what they don't know. What they don't know. They've never been to one, so they don't know, but we do. And you always hear the talk amongst each other, even while we're there, people are always saying, boy, I wish I had more people here. Boy, I wish I had gotten so and so here. Boy, I wish you hear that all the time. So that falls on us, folks. It's not their fault that they didn't go. It's our fault that we didn't create a clear enough picture and desire for them to see that that was a must, okay, that they had to be there. So April, what were you asking about another slide? Okay, and then I said October was Salt Lake. It's in Dallas. I'm sorry. I meant to say Dallas, but so you can circle October 23, 4, and 5 will be the next event after this April event. But I think that was it. These dates are already gone.
Yeah.
So let me stop the share and go
We
back.
have Chicago. Don't forget Chicago.
Okay, so go ahead with Chicago.
Well, we're in Chicago with Dr. Grieger for March 6th. So the details are on the big blue calendar. I did see them there, so I know that they're there. The Holiday Inn and the location and times and all are there as well.
And that's a corporate event. Gentry will be there, and so anybody in the vicinity of Chicago, on that, within 2 or 3 hours, should drive over and be there. And what I like about that particular location, because we were there last time, is there's a restaurant, sports bar on site, so we can have the meeting after the meeting right there. Okay. And most business gets done the meeting after the meeting. Okay. That's when you get to address concerns. That's where you get to address questions. That's where you get to, you know, kind of spend some one-on-one time with people instead of sitting in a room with 70 or 80 people trying to address what they have on their mind. You can do it over, a bite to eat or a glass of wine or a beer or something like that.
Okay.
Um,
Fred's also saying that March 8th in Toronto, Canada, um, Alexis Gebhardt will be there, and he will be there as well, him and Shirley. So,
and I think
March
the
8th.
company will be putting up more. Obviously, now they're going to be rolling into global in April. That's going to be the company's main focus. But you saw they had a lot of locations where they were doing meetings in February. So it wouldn't surprise me if we saw a list in March, leading up to the event in April. But anyway, let's open it up. Those were the things we wanted to cover. And if there's something we missed, feel free to ask. So, questions or comments, anybody? Everybody quiet?
Nope, so I'll just jump in real quick. So I'm glad you guys got to go to South Africa. We missed it this year, but we're not missing the next one. And I think that's a message for everybody on the call tonight. Let's all go there and shoot for Alaska as well. But what a trip it sounds like. I saw April's pictures. We went to the Calgary Zoo. We're in Calgary, Alberta right now. So we went to the zoo and saw, a giraffe and a rhino and a hippopotamus and stuff. So I was thinking of you guys.
Oh.
Yeah, so
We went to the zoo.
just imagine, Fred, that you're on the other side of the fence or glass with them.
Yeah, I know. That'd be fun. As long as there's somebody that knew what to do, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I got to tell you, when we first got on that Jeep and we're driving through the bush country where it was, I said, "You do have a rifle on this Jeep somewhere, right?" And they said, "Nope, we don't carry guns." And I'm like, "Oh boy."
Yeah.
Because some of them, we didn't do this, but some of them went on what was called elephant walks. They're kind of going outside the perimeter of where we were, and they had their tour guides had 2 rifles each.
Yeah, those were the bushwalks. Yeah, those were the
The
bushwalks.
bushwalks, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. You
but
had to be
thanks,
really
Fred.
careful. Yeah. But as soon as we got through the gate, there were giraffes. It was like we weren't even off the plane, and all of a sudden there's giraffes. It's like, wow. It was
Yeah,
very
on the way from the airport to where we were staying, there's giraffes crossing the path, and I'm like, uh-oh. It was like Jurassic Park without the dinosaurs. Like they weren't eating each other, but listening to the lions hunt, this one was interesting. There were two
yeah.
male lions that the night before had hunted a what we would all refer to as a deer. Over there, they were called impalas, but we would refer to it as a deer. And they had dragged it into this, I don't know, not a cave,
Just bushes under the
these
bushes.
bushes, thick bushes, and they were brothers, the two lions. And I guess they were getting down to the end, and they were arguing who was going to have the rest of it. They were just arguing over like the last bone or the last piece or whatever. And when lions are arguing, it's really interesting sounds, and you're 5, 6 feet from it, and they're going, back and forth with like who's going to get the last bite. Um, and then there were three female lions that we came across that were zeroing in on an impala. And it was really interesting. The mama, that was about as close as one got to me, like brushed right up near the Jeep on my side where I was. She was the leader of the three of them. And it was really interesting. She looked back at the other two and gave them a signal. Lions hunt in packs, and they surround their prey. And she gave them the signal to go around the side and go around the back, and all of a sudden they cut out in a different direction so they could, because the impalas are really fast, they run fast, so it was just interesting seeing them actually in the middle of a hunt. One of the other Jeeps came across a zebra as she was giving birth to another zebra. I mean, giving birth to a zebra. Someone else had a rhino chase their Jeep. The rhino didn't like, they were taking pictures and just decided to take off after their Jeep. It was interesting to say the least. I mean, it was cool. But we want you all to experience whatever the next thing is, and I'm sure in Alaska, going up, north with all the animals that live up north and seeing it from the beauty, from the ocean, from a cruise ship, that's going to have its share of stories too, without a doubt. The leopards, they're very hard to find. The meat eaters that only come out at night were not as easy to find and see as the giraffes or elephants just strolling around during the day. They're just roaming around eating and stuff, but it was cool. And whatever that next place is, I don't know where you could go that would be like more exotic than that, what was experienced there. But if there is such a place, they're going to find it, because they were teasing that the next place was going to be way better than what we had just done. And I don't know how that could be, but that's what they said. So anyone else got anything? Who's going to work their butts off for 48 hours to get a good number of guests on Tuesday night? Can I see some hands? I mean, that's, most of the time when we do this, folks, we talk Sunday night and it's tomorrow night. It's normally a Monday, but because of the trip and the way the dates fell this month and stuff, it's on a Tuesday. So this is our 2-minute warning this month is 48 hours. Okay, so if you go to town tomorrow and Tuesday and then confirm everything, maybe we can set a record for guests on a Zoom on Tuesday night, which will still leave us with 3 days to close it up, because Friday night it ends, and get those tracks, get those points, get those rank advancements. Like I said, there's 4 or 5 of you that can still make Alaska. That's within reach. Okay, that's how we do it. Okay, and then roll it into March. So anyway, it's always good to come back home.
Yeah.
Those of you that travel know there's just a feeling that comes with being back home and in your own house. So it is nice to be home, but the only regret or thing that we always wish is that more of you were there with us. And that's what we want to see every trip moving forward, and even every convention, that the number of people that attend, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger with our groups. So anyway, we're back. You know how to reach us. We're not going to Africa or anything in the next couple months. The next trip for us is convention. We will be gone for 3 or 4 days. So let's get at it. Have a great night, everyone. Thank you for joining. And remember,
Good night.
Billy Smith is my new Facebook account. Okay. So just like Bud Harrelson, Dr. Goodman is Bud Harrelson. Okay. Well, I'm now Billy Smith. You know where that came from, Ira? The old Islander goalie. Yep. You know where that came from.
Didn't give me a chance to answer.
So anyway, anyway, have a good night, everyone. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Yeah, thanks so much. Awesome.
Good night, Billy.